どうしたって消せない夢も止まれないまま誰かのために強くなれるなら何度でも立ち上がれ
Funan Cheng sneered, obviously not believing it. What do you think, Miss Su, who sleeps in class and can't even answer the simplest questions? Suchi's face turned red. What is it? Funan Cheng pulled her in front of him with a wicked arc at the corner of his lips. Funan Cheng took a step closer and looked at her innocent face. Nothing. The girl's clear pupils were shrinking and rippling. Even if you can win, can those people in your class do it? You leave the capital now and I will take care of the bet. Funan Cheng frowned, looking a bit like a gentleman. Why did she come to the imperial capital? He didn't like her coming to the imperial capital. Because she came to the imperial capital, his mood was always influenced by her. The blush on Suchi's face faded and she immediately looked up. I won't leave. Are you really going to run naked? Suchi, don't fight for a moment. Funan Cheng didn't let go, staring at her with a pair of gloomy narrow eyes with a sharp sense of oppression. Why do you care so much? Do you really care that much? Zhuxi immediately broke free from his grasp. Funan Cheng looked at her with his handsome eyelids lowered. Zhuxi's clear eyes were hooked at the corners, looking soft and charming like a little fox. I know you. What did you say? Zhuxi looked at him in confusion. Funan Cheng grabbed her arm again and said, I said, I don't want to see you lose face. I don't want you to be humiliated by others. Do you understand? Before she came to the capital, he was busy with work and had become a little indifferent to Lu Yao. He never touched her, but their relationship was normal. Later, she came to the imperial capital and he began to be absent-minded when he was with Lu Yao, and he always thought of her in his mind. I can't explain it to you. Anyway, I won't lose. Susi's face turned red and she immediately slapped his big hand. Zhuxi immediately broke free from his grasp. She turned and ran away. Zhuxi! It would be fine if he met someone else, but he happened to meet Zhuxi. Now his attention is always drawn to her, so he wanted her to leave. If she left and was no longer in his sight, he would probably become normal. Funan Cheng stood there. He was a little unsure what to do with her. You go and keep an eye on her, and if necessary, contact the school and cancel the exam. Yes, Secretary Song replied. Exam day. Zhuxi, the exam is about to start. My heart is beating so fast. Can we really beat the competition class? Relax, it's okay. We have mastered our winning strategy. This highly anticipated advanced mathematics exam arrived as scheduled. Zhuxi met Lu Yao in the corridor. Zhuxi, long time no see. Not for long either. I heard about it. Xin'er was being too naughty. When the results come out, I will persuade her to give up the bet. So don't feel pressured, I believe everyone can pass. Zhuxi met Lu Yao in the corridor. Lu Yao came over arrogantly. It seems that you think you are sure to win, so let's wait and see. Zhuxi curled her lips. Zhuxi turned and entered the examination room. Everyone was giving their all in this exam. 2 hours later, the advanced mathematics test was over, and Peng Li quickly went to the competency class to check answers with everyone. The next day, at the gate of Tsinghua University, all the young men from the Beijing circle who had placed the bet coming. Countless luxury sports cars pulled up, and all the young men in Beijing came to join in the fun. What kind of activity is this? Why is it so lively so early in the morning? These are the young men who came here specially to watch Suxian's naked run after reading the forum to block the examiner. Suxian running naked? Then I won't leave either. Professor, have the results of yesterday's advanced mathematics test come out? Students, please don't rush. The results are out and can be checked on the academic affairs system this afternoon. Who can wait till the afternoon? Professor, please tell us whether the competition class is the first one? After the exam, Tsinghua University quickly organized a group review of the test papers. Lu Yao walked up to Professor Zhu and said, Professor, can you help me check my grades? Oh, it's Miss Lu, wait a moment. Professor Zhu opened the sealed bag and saw the score ranking. Ning Zener finally smiled a little. She thought of something and smiled even more happily. Yao Yao, do you still need to ask? It's definitely number one. Professor, can you help me find Susi's grades in the regular class? I'm so curious. Professor Zhu suddenly thought of something. There's no need to look for Susi's results. I remember clearly that she ranked first in this exam. What? Zhuxi is number one? She got first place on such a difficult test. Is she still human? This test result caused a commotion in the audience, especially those young men in Beijing. They were shocked. Zhuxi, did you hear that? The professor said you are number one. Li Yuting jumped up, her hands shaking with excitement. At this time, Ning Zener turned her head and stared at her with a very strange look. Impossible! Let me see! How could that be? How is that possible? Lu Yao and Ning Zener stared at Professor Zhu in front of them in disbelief. It's really the first one, it's over. Ning Zener looked up and saw that Zhuxi, the girl she was looking for, was ranked first with a full score of 150. Ning Zener's pupils shrank. I only ranked 10th? How could this be? I have hired the best teacher in the capital to teach me. How is that possible? Lu Yao couldn't believe it. Lu Yao thought she was the top student in the grade this time. In this advanced mathematics test, Zhuxi ranked first. The few people at the back were top students from other classes. Lu Yao found herself and barely made it into the top 10. She only scored 106 points. Even Li Yuting from class regular scored 1 point more than her. Li Yuting smiled with curved eyebrows and said, Wow, everyone's scores are so high, so we've already won, right? Didn't some people say what they would do if they failed the test? Streaking! I can't come here in vain. I can't watch Suxian run, but Ning Zener doesn't matter either. At first, the students in class regular were shouting, then the students in the whole school followed suit, and then the young men in the Beijing circle also joined in the fun. They surrounded Lu Yao, Ning Zener, and all the students in the competition class and kept shouting. No, how can this happen? Isn't she just a vase? Impossible! I don't want to run naked. Zhuxi put her hands behind her back and looked at Ning Zener, whose face was ashen with her bright eyes. Ning Zener, forget about the bet. I don't want any girl to be treated like that. But you have to apologize to everyone in our class. Li Yuting bowed slowly in front of everyone. Sorry. Li Yuting had never been so frustrated before. She still couldn't accept the reality. Don't think I'll thank you for this. Zhuxi, just wait. Today's matter is definitely not over. She clenched her fists tightly and didn't feel any pain even when her nails dug into her palms. Fu Nancheng had just returned from the competition group class. When he saw the crowd whistling and shouting and the heat wave was getting higher. Stop! Fu Nancheng's voice came to an abrupt end because he saw a spectacular scene in front of him. Out there, what are they commotion about? President, the test results from yesterday are out. They should be here to ask for the results. How much did Suzi's class score? Can they win? Fu Nancheng's handsome eyes looked worried. No, we have to contact the school to force a halt to the bet. We can't let her go on like this. Secretary Song looked at his CEO. Secretary Song was about to answer, but suddenly Fu Nancheng got out of the car before hearing Secretary Song's answer. There was a huge crowd of people in front of them. You are awesome, Zhuxi. You are number one. From today, you are my goddess. Those young men from the Beijing circle who came to join in the fun were also infected. They gathered around her and shouted, Zhuxi! That slender figure surrounded by stars attracted the attention of everyone present. At this moment, she shines as brightly as the stars. First? I really underestimated her. Fu Nancheng stopped and looked at this scene, his heart suddenly struck. A tingling sensation, like an electric shock. He had never had this feeling towards Lu Yao. Who in the world doesn't love people with extraordinary talent and inspiration? He, Fu Nancheng, also loves it. Zhuxi looked at everyone, her clear eyes moving here and there. Soon she saw a handsome figure from afar and she said but did not make a sound. I won! Yes, you win. He thought she was a pretty vase. He didn't expect her to be so powerful. She is always like this, with many surprises hidden in her body, making people unable to take their eyes away. Next episode preview. Fu Group President's Office. Fu Nancheng was reviewing documents when Secretary Song came in and reported that Zhuxi was a thief. President Miss Ning reported Miss Su on the Tsinghua University forum for stealing the Genius Girl's notes. Miss Su left Tsinghua University this afternoon. Fu Nancheng paused with the pen in his hand, and his handsome eyebrows immediately frowned. Stealing notes? She wouldn't do such a thing. What's going on now? That's what's being spread outside, and Miss Su has been kicked out of Tsinghua University. Fu Nancheng's eyes darkened. I will contacted Mr. Jiang and told him you can go back to work.